Dear student, today I am presenting a second lecture of optical fiber communications. I am Professor Sridhar Singh, Department of Electronics, Light Longowal. Today I am presenting a ray optics concept of light and light treated as a electromagnetic wave. So I have got a few queries regarding the some previous introduction lecture regarding while we are using some conventional media, what kind of problem we are facing dealing with the conventional media. It is just like a pipe. Uh, Whenever there is a lot of information is there, and the small pipe have a capacity to flow that amount of water. Similar, if there is a increase of rush from the various road, and at one point there is a only one way of fixed width of road that is going on, then naturally there is a congestion that has to be the problem. So whenever information is coming from the various side, and we have a conventional communication media, like we have a wired media, we have a copper media in order to transmission, and that copper media or wired media has a fixed capacity of transmission. Accordingly, that amount of information will be flow. Even if the information coming at the back end is much more as compared to the transmission rate, uh, then the flow is remains same. So by this way, we can say there is a congestion that has to be occur at the neck, because that neck is basically bottom of the neck is representing the conventional communication media, copper media, our wired media, which having a fixed capacity flow of information. So there is a bottleneck problem that has to be occur in the communication media. That bottleneck problem is due to the limited bandwidth of that conventional media. Now in latest optical fiber media, the bandwidth is enormous. It is around 50 terahertz. Just once there is a establishment of this communication channel, and we can put so many application that can be we can put so many application, like we can add so many application like video, audio, online streaming, because there is available bandwidth utility that has to be solve all these purpose. The cost of the system is ultimately decrease. Mean we have not to increase much more resources. Once the sources they have to be needed at the starting. So bitrate for that optical fiber communication system is increases, and transmission distance is also increases, because this optical fiber communication media has a very low attenuation, so which can propagate the information far away distance from the that place. So like if we see that compare the copper and fiber media, from that copper and fiber media, we see that distance for the copper media is around 2.5 kilometer, whereas we use fiber media, the transmission distance is around 200 kilometer, which is much more higher. After that we need a repeaters, and bandwidth that we have to consider in term of the data bit rate, transfer rate. In the case of copper, the rate of transmitter data rate is around 1.5 megabit, whereas in the case of fiber optics, the rate is more than 2.5 gigabit per seconds, and similar in the copper media only 24 channel that can be established for that rate, and whereas in fiber optics media, we can take more than 32,000 communication users, which can be used for end-to-end communications. So by this way, we can resolve the problem of a bottleneck. So we are dealing with the ray theory transmission, in which fiber optics technique involves emission, transmission, and detection of light. As optical wide the light in two ways. One is the ray optics concept of the light, that is by reflection and refraction. Another, light treated as a electromagnetic wave, which is propagated along the optical fiber waveguide based on the Maxwell equations. So that theory has to be taken here. So for that, first of all, the nature of the light. The nature of the light, basically the concept of this nature of light is several variation from the starting. If we see the history, earlier in the 17th century, it was general believed that light consists of a stream of a mint particle which can emit from by a luminescence source, and these particles are travel in a straight line, and it is also assumed that they are penetrate in the transparent material but reflected from the opaque materials. So after that, in this the concept of interference as well as diffraction, that is not there. In 1815, Fresnel have given the concept of this diffraction and represent the rectilinear propagation characteristics of the light. And afterward, there is a diffraction physics work in 1864. Maxwell theoretically light must be in the electromagnetic nature. That has to be given by the Maxwell, and their polarization effect, that has also to be analyzed. So wave that has to be taken, see that the nature of the wave is in spherical wavefront as well as in the another uh, paraplane wavefront. So optical wavefront is basically defined as a locus of all point in the uh, wave train which have a same phase. Practically, a spherical wavefront is just emitting whenever we, just like in the pool, we throw a stone, and there is a spherical vibration that has to be started. A wavefront is a locus of all adjacent point at which phase of wave is same. So spherical wavefront of sound optical spread out basically uniformly in the all directions. So electromagnetic wave in vacuum, that is just spread like that. But that concept is out when we consider like EM wave, they are propagating in the one direction, and it's have a maximum amplitude in the one direction, maybe little lower amplitude in upper and lower portions. So that concept has to be came into the origin mind. Another, there is a plane wave current. Current is basically a in which EM wave is to be considered that the wavelength of light is much smaller than the object which is encountered, and a wavefront appear as a straight line to the this object. So this object, the wave is we see that the E as well as the M both are perpendicular to each other, and if we consider this is the direction of the propagation of the wave. So that theory has to be taken from the electromagnetic wave concept and electric and magnetic field distribution in a transmission wave. So EH basically both are perpendicular to each other. Although their polarization and propagation, that has to be different for different kind of transmissions. So first of all, we consider the polarization point of view, the linear polarization. In this linear polarization, the graph x and y is represent. In the x, we only consider the E and H is not to be taken at here. Here, resultant value of E is to be at here, and EX pattern is at here, and EY is in the Y direction. So resultant pattern is just vibrating around the Z direction in such a way, and these are the vector which have to be given, and resultant of vector is to be explained here. So electric field or magnetic field, we can take any one of them in while explaining this. They are plain linearly polarized with the each other. Here the direction of the travel that can be represented, say the uh, x or maybe a z. That is the representation. Now, in general form, we can represent E x comma t, and ej is a vector of propagation, e naught is the amplitude, exponential of j omega t minus kx. So x that has to be considered here is the overall these direction x plus y plus z. A resultant of all this that has to be taken at here. Here this axis basically the bolded as compared to this one, and general form of this propagation vector, that is k is also kx ex plus ky ey kz ez, that is represent in order to the propagation component. So if we have to represent in term of z, we can represent, say there is a e component, e in the z direction with the variation in the time. E z t is to be coming in the bracket, and real part of e we can represent in this ex is the part, and e0x is the amplitude, and cos omega t minus k z is the direction that is came at there, because that is the propagation part of that. So this is to be represented in the linear. Here, if we can say for this y component is to be there, that y component definitely having a some phase from the that ex value, so that while we are representing that vector ey, there is a some phase that has to be added to that. In overall we can represent EZT is the part of EX ZT and EYZT. Both are basically varying with the time, that's why. And if we can say both having propagating without any kind of phasor is to be there, then we can calculate that angle, polarization vector make an angle linearly, that theta that can be calculated, and the resultant E can be calculated. So this is for the linear polarizations. Now polarization, if we have to consider the elliptical polarization. In this elliptical polarizations, the resultant vector E will rotate both change its magnitude as well as function of angular variation of omega. This EX component and EY component, now they are not starting or originating or closing at one place. There is a some omega variation is to be there. It can be checked from this like this is if Ex is the component and Ey is the component, and this is the resultant component which has to be came out or emerge out from that. What exactly general form of this elliptical polarization which is to be represent here, Ex upon E0x plus Ey E0y minus Ex upon E0x Ey upon E0y square cos delta is equal to sine square delta, which is the representation of that. No, in order to represent the elliptical behavior, it is uh, different in term of their value of this propagation, because circular polarization is also the give the fixed value of E naught square is equal to Ex square plus Ey square, but that give a little bit different kind of variations. So, if we consider the circular variations, like in this circular, the value of this E0x and E0y and E0 both are has to be taken same. The relative phase difference delta that has to be taken. Then we have a circular polarization in this case, and in order to estimate this, it is very clear for Ex cos omega t minus kz, that is represented in the linear polarization for x direction. Another polarization is there Ey sin omega t minus kz, that is in the y orientation, combinedly to forming a circular polarizations. So elliptical polarization is somewhat merge between that. In order to represent Ex, we have to consider uh, that value of Ex E naught cos omega t minus kz, and for Ey we have a negative sign of that in order to obtain this Ey E naught sin omega t minus kz. So here whenever we consider some constraint, the value of Ex and Ey that vary accordingly. So overall electromagnetic field distribution that is given here, both E and H are perpendicular to the direction of propagation, and when this thing is happen, then we can call it as a transverse mode. And transverse mode is representing for this linear, elliptical and circular polarizations. Quantum nature of the light, that is also here, because the quanta of particle nature arises from light energy, which can always emit or absorb in discrete unit, which is that is represent the photons or a quanta. So, in all experiment, existence of photon, the photon energy is found depend upon the frequency, and frequency must be measured or observed in wave velocity of light. So, relationship between E and frequency is represented by E H F. H is basically the Planck's constant. That is the quantum nature of light already aware. So whenever we study the optical fiber as a cylindrical structure, then we consider this Maxwell equation in order to find the flow of expression, flow of field E and Z E and H in Z direction, that these relation will be used. Now ray theory transmission, another ray theory transmission is based on the ray optics concept, light, reflection and refractions. So here some of the basic concept that has to be given regarding the optical parameter of the materials, that is the refractive index. In free space, light travel at the velocity of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and the speed of the light in free space is represented by a c into f lambda. C is the f is the frequency, lambda is the wavelength. As light enter in some dielectric or non-conducting medium, it travel at a velocity less than that of the c. So that parameter we can analyzing from that, because whenever the light is travel, light gets slower when enter into that medium. So refractive index term that can be emerged from that, the actual velocity of the light divided by the speed of the light in that particular media emerge out a refractive index. And we have a speed of the light in the free space. Just we have to find out the speed of the light in a particular medium. For air, the value of both are equal. So n that is taken as 1. So refractive index of the air is 1. For water, the value of this V is less, and n is value is 1.33. And for glass, the value of C is remain constant, but velocity of light in glass is slower. So we got the value of 1.5. Similar, we consider the example of diamond. In diamond, the value is light will propagate inside the diamond and will take a lot of time to emerge out from the diamond. And then naturally the velocity of the light in the diamond is get slower. So that value is very less. You can say from half of this value, less than, and we got a value of 2.42. So concept of reflection and refraction, that we have to analyze from that slide. For a light beam, as a light, we have considered a two medium, this medium and this medium. There is a material boundary is present. It is just like a two different material, like one glass or another glass, they are joined together, but refractive index of this glass is little bit lower as compared to the refractive index of this one, or the refractive index of this one is higher as compared to the refractive index of this one. This is the material boundary between them, and we have drawn a normal line at here in order to differentiate for a sending of light from this one medium to another medium. So here part of light whenever incident from this medium and strike at the normal at the material interface, the property of the light has to be analyzed for both case. Whenever we consider it with respect to the material boundary angle, and whenever we have to consider it with the angle with respect to the normal. So both concept, both the expression that has to be represented at here. So whenever light enter into this this medium to the medium with the refractive index lower, then the light in the second medium, they are bending or reflected of light at the interface. That is due to the difference in the speed of the light. The speed of the light that has to be different, and that is basically due to the refractive index difference of both the material. The ray travel either at slow speed or fast speed. That thing is to be happen at the material interface. Basically, ray travel more slowly in the optical dense medium, that is higher refractive index than the lower refractive index. So at the interface, basically the ray is moving little bit faster, and that's why it is you can say bending away from the normal or bending toward the boundary. So as per Snell's law, the angle of incident is equal to the angle of refraction. So the angle of incident with respect to the normal is phi 1, and angle of the refracted rays with respect to the normal is phi 2. Both parts should be the equal. Like according to Snell's law, whatever may be the refractive index as well as the angle subtended by that, sine phi is equal to the refractive index of N2 by make an angle of sine phi. Both is also true for that, because the angle of incident and reflected angle, it is also same. One property is it is reflected out into the second media, another the part of the ray is also reflected back into the same media. This is basically the property of incident light. It is reflected as well as reflected at the media. From that we got this phi 1 and phi 2, n1 sine phi 1 is equal to n1 n2 sine phi 2, forming the Snell's law. So that basically give the relationship of index of the refraction in a given medium and incident light angle to the index of the refraction in a new medium. So that I have already explained. N1 is the refractive index of the medium, that is 1, and N2 is the refractive index of the second medium. Phi 1 is the angle of the light, that is incident ray made in the medium 1, and phi 2 is the angle made by refracted ray in the second medium. Another way to represent is that incident angle made by with respect to the uh, material boundary, that is represented by cos phi 1 into n1 is equal to n2 cos phi 2. Cos phi 2 is the angle made by the reflector ray with respect to the material boundary. So both the equations are we can represent in as per Snell's law. So when we have say right is to be false, here is a different concept that has to be given. We have a light source which is present. So in which light is to be fall and totally part is reflected back, because the angle of incident is as the normal. So the ray normal to the surface and not bend, and normal reflection coefficient is to be there. Another part is that right rays travel at here. Here reflection and transmission coefficient for non-normal incident can be evaluated based on the Fresnel equation. So here the part of the light is just like reflected back, and part of is also reflected in the second medium. So that is depend upon the angle that has to be made at here. What angle we have to made at here. So that angle is basically matter. So another part is that like if angle made with respect to the uh, it is just like if we can made with respect to the boundary, uh, it is now the less angle if we have to say this is the normal and that is the make with the boundary. Now in the another word, if we say this angle is quite less, another if we take this angle is little bit more but not sufficient. Here the ray is basically refracted into the second media, and part is also reflected back into the same media. Third is that if we have to apply the angle that is almost equal to the critical angle, that critical angle basically the ray refracted is not refracted into the second media, they get bent away from the normal, and a light strike medium with lower index of refractor can be totally reflected back into the same medium. In this happen in the next case, but at here the incident light basically travel across the boundary of this N2 and N1 medium. So we can say this angle is basically become the 90-degree angle and this angle is the critical angle. Now if we have to take that critical angle more than that with respect to the normal, or another way if we reduce that angle, incident angle, this is the incident angle, then instead of ray refracted or travel across the body, it is reflected and refracted back into the same medium. Same medium, it is refracted back into the same medium of higher index material. So light incident at an angle which is greater than that of critical angle is totally reflected back into the same medium. So when this thing is happened, then there is a total internal reflection that has to be takes place. So here a lot of concept that has to be taken, whether the light is first is that the light is whether enter from glass to air or air to glass, that is matter. When we can say uh, from glass to air, then glass to air, then we can say internal reflection. When reverse from air to glass, then there is a external reflections. So that concept is also to be taken into care. So for total internal reflection, it is very clear that your incident angle, that incident angle is to be taken only and only with respect to the normal this angle. That should be greater than that of the critical angle in order to forming a total internal reflection. So that so when this thing is happen, if we apply the previous equation in which we have a n1 sine theta 1, and that theta 1 is now become the critical angle. Previously it is 1 and now it is become a sine theta c, and n2 sine 90 degrees. Sine 90 degrees is basically here basically a sine 90 degree, and then sine 90 degree that is become 1. So that factor is basically cancel out and we have to taken only this part. So that thing is to be taken at here. Another is the diagram which is representing a less denser media and denser media, that is a glass as well as air, that has to be taken in order to take the detailed view. Now here, this is the normal, this is the angle which we are thinking talking. So this is the angle when it is, and that angle goes on increasing in order to make this angle critical angle. At a critical angle, naturally this angle is 90 degree in order to represent. And for total internal reflection, that critical angle is required in order to make total internal reflection back into the surface of back into the rays reflected back into the fiber. So this is the requirement. Acceptance angle. Acceptance angle is the maximum angle to the axis at which light may enter the fiber in order to be propagated, and is often we called it as a acceptance angle for a fiber. This is just like a cross-sectional view of the fiber. This is the core of the fiber, and this is generally the clad of the fiber. So if we take, this is the center of the fiber, and this is the air medium, and this is N1 N2. So that ray is basically coming at here, and that angle is required, should be taken. Otherwise the ray will not propagate inside the fiber. Like that angle should be the accepted one. It should be less than that, and if we increase that acceptance angle beyond that, then ray basically just like a B ray, it is just came at here. And what happened at here, N1 and N2, then that angle is not the critical angle. If that angle is not the critical angle, the total light is basically refracted out into the cladding medium, and all part is basically lost. So whenever we have a optical source, we have to enter a light from the outside source to the fiber. This acceptance angle that has to be taken into care, so that whenever light enter at here, it should make an angle equal to the critical angle. If it is not critical angle, then it is basically, if it is just like a less than that of critical angle, the ray is merged out into the cladding media. Here basically the ray, that critical angle or less than that critical angle is to be there, then the ray is basically suspended back into the core media and propagated inside the fiber. So this concept has to be taken into care while we have to consider or joining a optical source with the fiber. So we came again to that point, that incident angle, and which is to be fall, and accordingly that angle theta 1, and we forming a that phi 1 angle in order to suppose that is the incident sufficient acceptance angle which we have to apply, and the rays propagate, and it is internally propagated inside the fiber. So A point, B point, and C point, and it is a vector A coming from that N naught is the outside media, N1 is the media of core, and N2 is the back. So first of all, as per Snell's law, N naught sine theta 1 is equal to N1 sine theta 2. That is the Snell's law theory. So after that, if we consider the triangle ABC, in this we consider that this phi angle plus this theta 2, and that is equal to pi by 2, or phi is equal to pi by 2 minus theta 2. if we consider the value of this theta 2 is equal to pi by 2 minus phi, that is apply at here, and what happened, we got this n1 sine pi by 2 minus phi, or we can represent sine pi by 2 minus phi as a cos phi. Now we know that the property sine square phi plus cos square phi is equal to 1. So instead of that cos phi, we represent 1 minus sine square phi under root. That has to be taken. Now this sine phi, we have already considered that the ray is basically making a particular acceptance angle, and does not emerge out, it is propagated inside the fiber. This means this phi is the critical angle. This means this phi is the critical angle. If sine phi c is the critical angle, then sine phi c expression which we have already find n2 divided by n1, that we have to apply that here, and n2 square n1 square divided by n1 is n1 that can be cross out, and we got n naught sine this theta 1 is the acceptance angle which we have considered, and after that this is using the critical conditions, that we can easily emerge out from that the numerical aperture of the fiber, that should be as per the acceptance angle options. How much light that can be collected by optical systems, such that optical fiber or microscope lens that can take all light. Numerically, aperture is naturally related to the acceptance angle, which indicate the size of the cone, and that size of the cone is basically decided by the acceptance angle made with respect to the core. So that is represented by n naught from the previous equation into sine theta a, which we have, and it is also represented in term of n1 square minus n2 square under root. That representation is to be there. Also, there is a numerical version that is defined by Na is equal to n1 2 delta under root, that we have explained afterward. But for numerical aperture, this expression we can say very good. This delta is the another factor which I have to explain before going into the detail. Basically, in this part, I try to explain all the basic part of this acceptance angle, as well as the numerical apertures, critical angle, how the wave basically propagate inside the fiber, that is required. In the next part, I'm going to explain about the structure and the type of fiber, and how the ray, whenever it is propagated inside that, and how the ray basically become a different kind of ray, that will explain in the next lecture. Thank you.